Giannis Brown with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and the joke is on you. Bobo is for real. Bobo is back. Not that he was ever really here. Again, I always like to come to you with an element of transparency. I do not own a single Bowl card. As far as I know, there is a chance I have some base prism shoved away in my long white boxes, or maybe in a little plastic two-piece somewhere with a bunch of the other rookies that I didn't really think much of. I'm beaming. I am so excited and I am so happy. Number one, because I picked him up about 3 weeks ago in my fantasy league. When I saw how many shots he was blocking in limited minutes, I was like, damn, he can help me be a block streaming player. If he's got a 4 or 5 game week, I'll load up on blocks. I didn't think he was going to do much else. But then as we see, look, I'm going to pull it up over here. Orlando got hit by a bevy of injuries. Cole Anthony has some kind of, abdominal strain or something? Right internal oblique tear. He's out 3 more games minimum. The big injury was obviously Banchero, because he's a black hole. Amazing player, great player, incredible player. And I've got the depth charts pulled up from Basketball Monster, by the way. But Banchero being out creates a huge void for playing time, because Bobo's sort of a small forward, power forward kind of hybrid, right? He's, 7'2" or whatever the hell he is, or 7'3", but he's not really a center because he'll get pushed around. So when Banchero went out, he went nuts. Wendell Carter's questionable here and there, missing games. So Mo Bamba and Bobo have kind of been shoring up the front court, along with Franz Wagner, who's a really good-looking young player. But Bobo's come in. He's playing 24 minutes a game. His usage rate is 17.4. You're not going to believe this. Like, if you're a fantasy basketball person in an 8-category Roto league, the dude is the 54th ranked player, and he's only playing 25.6 minutes a game. Now, look, I've got his game log pulled up here, and you can look at his recent games. He started a bunch of games in a row here, almost 12 games in a row. Bobo has started. Look at his field goal percentage in those games. He's one of the most efficient players in the NBA. I don't know how else to say it. I've watched these games on League Pass. I am literally watching them start to finish to figure out how he's putting up these numbers. I mean, look at his last few games. 22, 11, 2 blocks, 60% field goals. He did shoot 2 for 4 from the free throw line, but that's an anomaly, as you're about to see. Game before that, these are the last 5 games. He's gotten 30 minutes a game. 22 and 11 with 2 threes, 15 and 10, 2 blocks, 60% from the field, 3 for 3 free throws, 26 and 12, an assist, a steal, 3 blocks again, 57% from the field on 21 field goal attempts, okay, and 2 for 2 from the line. He then went 14, 9, 2 threes, 2 assists, 2 blocks again, only 38.5 from the field, but 1,000%, 2 for 2 free throws again. I mean, look at his field goal percentage. If we scroll up here to his year-long numbers, he's played in 17 games. He's got 14 threes, so just under a 3 a game. He actually, you feel like he's going to make it when he takes a 3, and he's always open because the dude's 7'2", and he releases it from above his head, sort of just like his dad did. His dad kind of slung it up there. For those of you who don't know or are not old enough, his dad was Manute Bol. Go Google him. If you don't know who that is, you really got to do some research in the NBA. But 14 threes. He does not pass the ball very often. He doesn't get very many assists, I should say. He does share the ball. But 34 blocks in 17 games. That's 2 blocks a game. That is extremely fantasy relevant. 62% from the field. And like I said, this dude's not dunking everything. He's taking jumpers. He's taking floaters. He is dunking the ball here and there. He's got a lot of putbacks because he's long as hell. I watched him last night literally reach over John Collins with 2 hands, take the ball, never bring it down, and then drop it straight back in over the top of John Collins, and he had no idea what had happened. He just looked around like it was nuts. And then 83% from the line for a 7'2" guy is just bananas, man. So he's helping you tons in field goal percentage and blocks and rebounds. He's better than average in points. Obviously, he does not assist. I figured he'd have more steals. He's only got 3 steals, which seems really, really odd. We're looking at his totals right there, but up here, you're looking at his per game. He only averages 0.2 steals a game. That's really odd. Like, for somebody that long, I guess he doesn't really gamble. He just keeps his, the opponent in front of him, between him and the rim. He stays between the rim and his opponent. So what about his cards, right? We want to talk about his cards. Tell me about his cards, Cajun Cardboard. Well, there's one of the cards that I guess matters. I mean, it used to matter. This is his Prism Silver PSA 10. It's not a rare card. As we know, there's 8 trillion Zions and John Morants from 2019 Silver Prism. But this is Bol Bol's staple rookie card, and it's only $118. But I want you to look at what the card's done over the last 6 months. Even over the last 3 months, it's up 84%. But over the last 6 months, guys, this card in September, this is 60 days ago exactly. The card sold for $20, and now it's selling for $118. I mean, that's good news, right? That's feel good. That's a feel good story in the NBA. The joke's on you. I'm joking about that phrase, but really, this dude was the butt of jokes, right? We saw him have, this preseason game where, he blocked a shot, slapped a shot against the backboard, pinned it, pulled it down, did a wraparound, did a no-look pass on a fast break where he ran the break, and everybody went apeshit. And that was the time where everybody was going apeshit about everything, right? Anybody who did anything, their cards went ballistic and parabolic. And look, we'll pull back to 2 years. And so you could see this crazy card was up to 440. So this is a feel-good story, but it's not like elation, right? Because we know where the cards used to be. But then those cards came down. That's December of 2020, right? And then the bubble, and then it comes all the way back down. But it came down to $20 for this card, and now it's all the way back up to $120. The last one sold $118.75. And so it's very rare you see a card that's done this over the last 6 months. 271% rate of growth start to finish. That's really impressive. To put it in perspective, I think the biggest overachiever, maybe Larry Markkinen, but the biggest overachiever in the NBA right now, and someone who's solidified himself as an all-star, and if his team would win some more, they've won more than they should, but if they continue to win, I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has to be in like a top 10 MVP list. I know that sounds crazy, but SGA is doing anything and everything. He's one of the best statistical players in the entire NBA right now across the board. Look at the comparison between Bol Bol's cards and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander cards over the last 6 months are up 14%. It's a pop 528. It's half the pop of Bol Bol because there was some kind of printing defect on that. So those rookie cards are more condition sensitive than the other 2018s like Doncic and Trae Young and guys like that. But, the SGA is up 14%. The Bol Bol's up 271%. Are you kidding me? Put that in perspective. The Bol Bol's up more from a dollar volume perspective as well. And there's been 75 sales. So this is not an anomaly. This is not 4 or 5 data points. I just wanted to share some good news with you guys. The card started at $32 6 months ago, and it's at $118. SGA's playing out of his mind. He's like a freaking MVP, fringe MVP candidate, right? A feel-good story who's putting up eye-popping numbers, and he's only up $55, for his card. But I just thought that was a funny comparison right there. Again, this is what you're talking about. I don't know what that is, but this is Bol Bol right here. That's what he looks like. If you haven't got a chance, that's what his dad looks like, which was even freakier and more preposterous. He had some kind of issue with his pituitary gland and passed away at age 47 tragically. But by all accounts, he was one of the good dudes in the NBA. And he blocked a hellacious quantity of shots from the day he set foot on an NBA floor, and just kind of completely dominated the paint in the very small minutes that he did play for the Washington Bullets and a little bit with the Warriors, but mostly with the Washington Bullets, who are now the Washington Wizards. But here's Bol Bol, man. This is your guy. Keep an eye on him, and let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy? I mean, he's the 54th ranked player in rotisserie category leagues. And he's killing it. Now, here's the problem, right? Let's go back and let's just double check this, because I want to make sure that investors understand, availability is one of the most important abilities, right? That you hear that all the time. Playing time and opportunity is huge. He's playing buku minutes right now. He's playing over 30 minutes a game in his last 7 or 8 games, something like that. Those numbers have got to come down because Paolo Banchero is coming back, and he's 35 a game, right? So he's going to absorb a lot of minutes there. We know Wagner's not coming off the floor. We know Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, and Fultz don't have any bearing whatsoever on Bol Bol or RJ Hampton. So when they come back, it should have no effect, not much effect, unless they go 3 guards. Wendell Carter has been in and out. He's got plantar fasciitis. I've had that. If you've had it, you know it sucks ass. It's going to be miserable. It's going to come and go, and it's going to linger. It's impossible to treat. It is very painful, especially in the mornings. For those of you who've never had plantar fasciitis, it sucks. And then you've got Jonathan Isaac, who's coming back in 9 games. You got Mo Wagner, who I think sucks. I think he's absolutely one of the dirtiest, worst players in the NBA. I really don't like him as a player or the way he plays. I've seen him play very physical, and honestly, I've seen him try to hurt people. I don't like him. That's just my personal opinion. Mo Bamba's actually playing pretty well lately, but there's a lot of bigs, right? Chuma Okeke kind of plays that small forward, power forward position. Gary Harris is out, but he's coming back off an injury, so he's going to get in the mix. RJ Hampton's already in the mix, and so the minutes are there for Bol Bol now. I don't know if these minutes are going to be there for him long term, but look, he's done anything and everything you could ever ask of a young kid. He's only 23 years old. He's done anything and everything you've asked somebody to do in a limited, short playing time when you're not really sure what your role is. And so he's had games of 26 and 12. I mean, he's had some monster games, y'all. So, as an investor, I'd chill with that. I think his cards made a nice little run. Maybe they're where they belong. Again, 1,000 of them is not, that's not a small number. And, if somebody was sitting on 7 of these silvers and it's only $15 to grade at PSA and it's a $118 card as a PSA 10, those people are probably going to send those 10 silvers in, right? And so I suspect that pop of 996 or whatever it was that we saw, what did we say? 996. I'd suspect that number is going to go much, much, much higher over the next probably 3, 4, 5 months as people start to just throw these things into the PSA blender and see what comes out. And, they fish for 10s. And so I know I would. If I had 10 silver Bol Bols and they look centered to me, I'd send every single one of them to PSA. Wipe them down, send them in. What do you got to lose? I mean, what's a PSA 9 worth, for God's sakes? If it's $15 to grade, PSA 9 is $18, so what the hell do you have to lose, right? Maybe a few bucks, but every 10 you hit, you make $100. Hell yeah, it's worth it. Not to mention it could go up to 150, 180, 200. Who knows? I don't know. But I'd probably send them in if I had them. So I'd suspect that pop for the PSA 10s will go up. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. I thought this comparison here with SGA was kind of funny because one of those guys has kind of vaulted himself into the elite status, all NBA type numbers in the NBA. And then Bol Bol's just kind of been doing this on League Pass where only nerds like me or Orlando fans like Jake Roy, 90s B-ball cards, shout out to the great Jake Roy. You've got to be happy with the development of Bol Bol. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys, see what you guys thought. Let me know your thoughts on Bol Bol. If you have a great Bol Bol story about maybe buying high, selling low and getting crushed, or buying low and now you're getting to sell high, or maybe you crushed it at the peak and sold it for $440 or whatever the hell the card was selling for way back in the day, or maybe you have a rare 101 Bol Bol. I know there's a couple of guys in my Jordan group chat that as a joke were starting to buy some Bol Bol cards, but now it's not such a joke anymore. The joke's on the hobby, man. This guy was the butt of jokes and the laughing stock, and he was like the example of the hypocrisy and lunacy in the hobby where people were overreacting to any good thing that any young player did, and prices would go parabolic about 2 years to 18 months ago. Those days are over. And now this is kind of a sustained run. I mean, maybe those days aren't over. He's up 271% in the last 6 months. So you tell me. Let me know in the comments if you got any good Bol Bol stories. I'm happy to see the kid succeed. I watch the guy. I like his body language. He's no nonsense. He's not arrogant. He doesn't talk shit. He just gets out there. He seems to do his job. And you can often tell what kind of person a player is by watching the way his coaches and teammates interact with him. They love him. The guys on the bench love the fact that Bol Bol's on the court and succeeding. So I just thought this was a good feel-good story. There's too much negativity in the hobby right now, so I was going to share a story about a card that actually has gone up over the last 6 months. Can you believe it? Thanks for watching. Keep collecting. Go Magic. Stay positive in the hobby. Just don't beat the Bucks. And peace.